Rising Winter powered by Twitch students. Glad to see such a strong showing right off the bat. We have 3 days packed full of panels, workshops, and of course, industry veterans from some of the biggest brands all coming to you live this weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. I will be your host for the kickoff. My name is Sarah Wag, manager of the DC Esports Arena, as well as academic esports professor at Durham College, here to kick off the amazing weekend we have planned for you, to let you know what it is that we have in store, some of the amazing prizes that we do have available, as well as, of course, where to find all of the information to stay up to date on what today looks like. If you have any questions at all throughout the course of the weekend, feel free to pop them in the Twitch chat. We'll be keeping an eye on it all weekend to pull audience questions and answer them live on stream with our panelists. And speaking of those panels, all of the panels that we have planned for you this weekend are going to be 60 minutes long, with 45 minutes of that being a moderated discussion, followed by 15 minutes of Q&A with those audience questions you guys have put in the Twitch chat. So please remember to get those in. Taking a look at the schedule for this weekend, the event has been split up into 3 days. Each one has a different emphasis or theme that we're going to be covering throughout the day. The first one that we're starting off with today has been dubbed the College Open House. Today's going to be centering around collegiate esports organizations, the collegiate ecosystem as a whole, and we're going to be talking to the brands, leaders, and faculty that are driving collegiate forward. So today we've got Brands in Collegiate Rising Stars is going to be starting right after this. We've got Collegiate Organizations 101, Leadership Development, followed by Collegiate Broadcasting Workshop, our first workshop of the weekend. Administrators, a New Era, and to end off today, the College Open House, we have the Mentor Round Tables. For anyone interested in participating in the Mentor Round Tables, they'll be taking place in the Corsair Discord, which you can find over at discord.gg/Corsair. It'll also be posted in the Twitch chat, so keep an eye out for that. Within the Corsair Discord, Corsair is going to have dedicated Discord channels that are going to be serving as your roundtables, and each channel will have its own mentor. In the channels, mentors will introduce themselves, talk about what it is exactly that they do, and students are able to freely have conversations, ask mentors about a variety of topics, and build some really nice relationships. Students are also welcome to hop channels or move channels into different conversations to work with different mentors. And during this time, we do recommend that mentors and students alike have their webcams turned on to maintain a more personable atmosphere. If you're wondering just who exactly our mentors are going to be, we're very excited to be working with Twitch, Corsair, Juked, and Light, Boom.tv, and Cloud9 will all have mentors participating in this roundtable. So it's going to be a great way to end off the very first day. And it wouldn't be a Collegiate Rising without some giveaways to go throughout the evening. So there's going to be a series of giveaways happening during each day. And on day one, today, we're going to be starting with some giveaways via the Twitch chat. Just by watching the Twitch chat, you're eligible for 2 different giveaways. The first one being the Corsair Case60 RGB Pro Mechanical Gaming Keyboard. We've also got the Twitch Glitch Snapback to go for today. Later this evening during the mentorship roundtables, we do have the Corsair HS60 Haptic Stereo Gaming Headset with haptic bass that you can currently see on the screen. Moving on to what we're looking at for day 2. Day 2 is all focused around career growth and career day. We'll be diving into various esports career pathways with industry professionals and veterans nonetheless to learn more about the pathways that they took to get into this very unique space, as well as what their careers and roles look like on a day-to-day. Some of the things that we'll be doing tomorrow is we're starting off with a workshop tomorrow, how to get a job in esports workshop, followed by the partnerships panel, moving into another workshop focused on arts and graphics. a journalism panel, and to end off Career Day, it just made sense to host a career fair. So tomorrow from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time, we will be hosting a career fair in the MSI student Discord. So make sure you pop into that Discord. During the career fair, brands will have booths set up in the Discord, the MSI student Discord, in the form of Discord channels, similar to the mentorship later this evening. So students will be able to speak with participating career fair companies about how to get a job at that company, as well as what it's like to work there. What does the company culture look like? I'm sure you're eager to hear about which brands are participating in the career fair. We're very excited to have with us NVIDIA, Corsair, Cloud9, Leyline, Nonprofit, Intercollegiate Game Network, Enlight, West Point Esports, as well as, of course, MSI. So within that list of brands, the two that you might not have recognized right off the bat were Enlight. Enlight is a learning platform that teaches students these specialized skills to land a job in esports. And then, of course, we've got Intercollegiate Game Network, which is a student-run collegiate esports Discord server with tons of great networking events and programming centered around helping students build those relationships, getting the information they require, and helping to pursue careers in the industry. And it wouldn't be careers without talking about our promotional partner, Hitmarker, which is a job site that has tons of esports and gaming job postings. And you're able to sort of even by remote due to the current situation. I find that to be very helpful. Similar to day one, there's going to be even more goodies and giveaways happening on day two. We'll start off with participation in the career fair. You're eligible to win the Lucky Doll Charm keychain and an MSI Air Gaming backpack. My personal favorite that I think you guys are going to love to hear about is the MSI Optics Mag 24C monitor. By tuning into the stream during day two, likewise to the career fair, there's the Lucky Doll keychain, as well as the MSI Air Gaming backpack and a Twitch beanie in black. For day three, lastly, to close out the weekend, we've got the esports experience. So Sunday, we'll be covering various aspects of the competitive side of esports and what the experience on that big stage looks like. So we're starting off day three with the Collegiate Carball 16-team Invitational. The semifinals and finals will be taking place at 3 p.m. PST over on their Twitch channel, so make sure you head on over and cheer on for your favorite team. For panels on day three, we've got Talking with Cloud9 Team White, and to end off the entire weekend, we have the Face of Esports one-on-one with Rachel Quirico. So look forward to all 3 days of content that we have planned. Going back to prizing that you can win just by tuning in and watching the stream, on day three could land you a Twitch SM Summit 32-ounce water bottle, and a Cloud9 radio-controlled car. If you also tune into the tournament broadcast over at Collegiate Carball, there's a Cloud9 Puma collaboration snapback. I know I just threw a whole bunch of information over at everybody, so if you would like to stay up to date with the schedule, the speakers, the social media channels, or if you're just looking for more information on where the special events will be taking place, make sure to head on over to the website uconnectesports.com/collegiate rising, and right there will be absolutely everything that you're looking for the weekend. But that's not all. If the stream giveaways weren't enough for you, we also have the Gleam giveaway. So there is a Uconnect holiday giveaway that is currently underway. Likewise, all of the information regarding the Gleam giveaway can be found at uconnectesports.com/collegiate rising, closer to the bottom of the page. And from there, you'll be able to enter the giveaway, track how many entries you have, and the final draw for that Gleam giveaway will be done a week from today on January 15th. And to wrap up this kickoff, the whole weekend would not be possible without the support of our amazing sponsors stepping up to help collegiate initiatives like this happen. So, a very, very big thank you goes out to Twitch, MSI, Corsair, Cloud9, and Collegiate Carball. I'd also like to extend a thank you to Space Productions for running the broadcast and production for this weekend for us. Thank you guys very much. Well, that's it for the kickoff, everyone. Thank you for joining me in kicking off 3 days jammed packed of panels, workshops, and your favorite industry professionals. But make sure you do stay tuned because up next we have Brands and Collegiate Rising Stars.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you everyone for showing up today. There's 600 of you guys in chat. That's super awesome. I'm here today with amazing panelists. Carolyn Yee, Kat Tompkins, Benjamin Runny, and May Gabbert. I'd love for you guys to introduce yourself. You guys are all the new players in collegiate esports, so thank you for coming into this industry. I know some of you guys from collegiate itself. We were all students at one point in life. But yeah, let's introduce you guys to everyone in chat. Let's start off with Carolyn. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're working, and your title?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Carolyn Yee. I just started working at Corsair recently. I'm the collegiate programs lead. So I manage the student program, our ambassadors, and all of the other things relating to students, like internships. And I started at San Diego State University and graduated last May. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. Kat, would you introduce yourself next?
Hi guys, my name is Kat Tompkins and I am the program manager for esports and education over at MSI, handling collegiate and K through 12. And yeah, feel free to check out our new MSI student Discord along with many other things that we'll be announcing within the next few weeks for MSI student.
Awesome. May, please introduce yourself next.
Hi, I'm May. I work at Cloud9. Right now, I am the head of programs for Cloud9 Training Grounds, which is our youth development program, and I was part of getting the C9U program launched in 2020, which is going to do a lot of really fun and amazing things in 2021.
Awesome. Benjamin, last but not least.
Hi, my name is Benjamin. I go by Ben often, and I am the executive director for College Carball. And I've been doing that since, I want to say, early 2019. And with that, I guess we've been able to put on student events in Rocket League for about 4 years now. So I guess, yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Cool. So there are hundreds of collegiate esports leaders in North America. We're really glad that you guys are here. Collegiate esports definitely needs the help. But you know, one thing that's really awesome about collegiate esports is that a lot of us come from a background either by being students, being in programs, or you know, you've noticed that collegiate esports is an area that is deserving of help, is super underserved. Can you guys tell us a little bit about your backgrounds and how you got to where you are now? We'll start from the same order. So Carolyn, please go first.
Sure. Like I mentioned earlier, I come from San Diego State University and I literally just graduated this past year. So I'm fresh out. I worked a lot on events there and I realized that there's a lot of things that colleges don't know about the industry. And so I actually took it upon myself to learn about all of it and help educate like my club and all that stuff, which is why I think I know so many people in the esports industry now, is because I tried to get to know literally everyone that I could at other schools, in the companies that I worked with, and just as many collegiate leaders as I could get to know as possible. And I think that's what ended up letting me stand out in the job application process and helps me get to where I am today at Corsair. I think that networking is like one of the most important parts you can do, especially if you're looking to work in esports, because the esports world is tiny. You will know everyone after you talk to like 5 people. But yeah, I think also just the amount of effort and like passion that I had for the esports scene really helped me to get out there and really work hard to make an impact on the scene. And so I'm really proud of what I did at San Diego State with Aztec Gaming. I grew the club a lot. We put on a bunch of huge flagship events and things like that that really let us connect with our gaming community in San Diego. So I hope they can continue that and create a legacy.
I'm sure that you'll help them out in that regard. Kat, will you tell us a little about yourself now?
Yeah, so I started off with the Cal State Long Beach Esports Club back around 2013, 2014. I see a lot of my, fellow Cal State Long Beach folks in chat, which is awesome. I was trying to pursue a career as a reporter, like a journalist. I was in the journalism program at my school, but, I came across the esports club in its first year. And, because of it, I really wanted to switch to public relations and marketing. And, since then, I've been very grateful to be able to grow into multiple roles within tech. So, handling public relations and community efforts at iBuyPower, and then PR at Cooler Master. And now, I'm here doing student programs for MSI. And it's been an amazing experience. It's been awesome being able to connect with everyone again in the space.
Amazing. May, will you please go next, please?
Yeah. So esports was a total career shift for me. I was actually more in the education field. I was a youth services librarian and was doing after-school STEAM and other programming for after-school education. Esports was something that I'd always been a gamer. I had loved gaming, and I was helping, just volunteering my time as a tournament organizer. And the opportunity came up through the hard work that I did, just volunteering my time to work at Cloud9, and I took it. Going in a completely different path, working in operations for almost 3 years. And then while at Cloud9, there was an opportunity to sort of take up the programming and development of the youth initiative that we've launched this last year and are going to be having a lot of things for in 2021. And so it was really a unique opportunity for me to take my experience in education and really mesh it with esports. And I think it's this really cool new emerging field and this whole new area of esports that it's pretty adjacent to collegiate, and really excited to sort of dive into it.
That's awesome. I'm glad that you're bringing in experience from other parts of the industry and, helping collegiate out. Ben, last but not least.
Yeah, so I, unlike most people here, am still a college student, and I've been working with College Carball at College Carball since I've been a college student. And kind of starting with that, I got into tournament organization for Rocket League tournaments in smaller community, and then early on found CCA as I wasn't a college student yet when that was formed, and that really gave me the opportunity to learn a bunch about esports events and production, just kind of all the things that have to go into it. Kind of in the middle there, I actually co-founded the esports club at Michigan Tech University, where I'm a fourth year, actually studying electrical engineering. And I don't know, and I guess I still got to figure out my career moving forward. Do I want to go into the esports, the engineering? But I've really enjoyed my time in esports and getting to learn all I have through College Carball.
Very cool. There's definitely no one path into this industry, whether you're electrical engineering or marketing or whatever it is that you're studying in school. I think no one path is exactly the same. Speaking of, there are a bunch of, accomplishments, failures, perspectives along your journey as you guys have gone into collegiate esports. Why don't you guys pick one or two things that you think makes your journey unique, and maybe some of these students can take from your experiences and learn from them. Carolyn, would you go first, please?
I think one of the most unique things that I've accomplished in my career so far was during my summers in school, I would try to take advantage of them and really expand into the gaming industry. And one of those opportunities that I ended up taking was an esports exhibit at the county fair. So in California, there's lots of county fairs like the Ventura County Fair, Orange County Fair, all those. San Diego also has one. And we got offered the opportunity to have an esports exhibit there, where we educated not only parents, but also younger kids that came through the exhibits about esports and the career paths that are available in esports. Because not a lot of people know that esports, you don't have to be a pro gamer to be a part of the gaming industry. You can be a business person like me. You can be an engineer. You can be legal if you want, or psychology. You can be any kind of industry, but all within esports. So I was really, really proud of that, and the amount of community outreach we got there. And I think that was a really cool opportunity for me to really educate people in our general community, not just the gaming community. That's probably one of my favorite things that I've done over the past couple of years.
That's awesome. I'm glad that something memorable was able to be brought into this. Kat, I know you've had a long history of being in this industry, and now you're working again in collegiate. What is that like?
Yeah. So, wait, are we talking about
your accomplishments still? Yeah.
Okay, accomplishments. Okay. So myself alongside Rutso, who happens to be our number one sub gifter in this Twitch. We came from Cal State Long Beach and went straight to iBuyPower, and one of our first projects was working on the grand opening for the UCI esports arena, which I think was, looking back, it's still crazy how that was one of the catalysts to what is happening within the collegiate space now. And, we would have never thought that, back then. And then the other thing too, that I think is up there in terms of accomplishments is also the iBuyPower Masters event too. It was we're just so happy to be working on this big giant CS:GO LAN event, but also, we were able to start sowing the seeds in terms of, giving those volunteer opportunities to students who really wanted to work in the esports space. And I think that those are some things that are very memorable that, it's just crazy to think that it was almost 5 years ago now. And, look where things are now. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely remember volunteering with you, and that was an amazing part of my journey. May, I know, again, you mentioned earlier that you're not necessarily from collegiate, but you had this other large journey. Can you tell us a little bit more about your accomplishments and failures?
Yeah, I think that something that has always really served me, especially somebody coming later into this than a lot of people probably in this panel or watching, that it's never too late to start. I think that having the attitude that I want to learn something, having a growth mindset is so important, and saying yes to opportunities. There's so much value you can get. Knowledge is the most resource, is the best resource that you can have, and saying yes to opportunities that give you that always served me well. I think that there's always times that you're going to say yes that don't necessarily serve you well, but that's also another learning experience to help you recognize the things that work in esports and take those failures and use them as examples on why you have experience and knowledge on subjects.
Awesome. Ben, you're still a student and you're still going through this process, but I'm sure in the 4 years that you've been doing collegiate cardball, you've had a ton of accomplishments, failures. Can you give us a little bit more of your perspective?
Yeah. So I think the big switching point for us was when we got an LLC and were able to first run the CRL B stream. That was kind of a big step for us to be able to broadcast CRL matches on the B stream, and then kind of where it went from there, getting creative with our broadcasts and being able to host our own events, like the CCA Summer Series that we hosted this past summer. And one of the awesome things with that is that we were able to get a lot of students involved behind the scenes. As I said, I've benefited from these experiences, being able to learn, the events, production, and in my role, kind of learning the business side of things as well. That's been very valuable. but then to be able to give those opportunities back to students, that was a big accomplishment for us.
Cool. Awesome. I'm going to move on to the next topic. A lot of these students start up their own programs or are leaders in their own right. And, whether you're a graduate coming in from another industry or still going through the process, leading a program, especially in respects to COVID, is a really difficult thing. I would love to know your thought process, direction, goals, and anything else that you guys want to share as you guys built out this program and are continuing to build out this program, especially over the last 8 months. Again, we'll start with Carolyn, and then we'll move our way through everyone else.
Sure. So this has been a really interesting process for me. This is my first full-time job out of college, and taking on a program was a really huge initiative for me. Trying to learn everything and kind of catch up on all the details of what's happening in the company and where we want to go was I will say it was rough. But it was a really fun challenge for me to tackle, and I think I'm kind of coming to grips with what I'm doing now. And I really have the underlying mission of just educating and helping people professionally develop as much as I can with the Coursera student program, and also all of our other programs like the intern program and the ambassador program. I really just want to help people grow and learn what they can do in the esports industry. And honestly, I would help them grow into other industries as well. Whatever they want to pursue, I want to be able to support that and really help them get to where they want to go. So a lot of my programs will be focusing on education, meeting people, networking, and learning from each other.
Awesome. Kat, you actually just recently launched the MSI Student Discord, and I'm sure you have a bunch of things that you've thought about, have directions for. Tell us a little bit more about your goals as well.
Yeah, so my biggest goal with creating MSI Student was definitely professional development, beginning from, when I started day one. I think that especially with the pandemic, there are many students out there that are struggling to find available internships or jobs or even areas where they would like to, pursue a career. And I think that while there are plenty of great resources out there on, general job searching and building esports communities, I think I really want to try hard to educate people on, actual jobs within the industry, specifically tech. And, the ways I want to do that is, either building mentorships with people from our company, within that, that might be dream jobs for the student, as well as providing valuable insight about the tech industry that, may not be readily available to others. And lastly, alleviate the stress that a lot of folks are facing with this pandemic in regards to job searching.
Cool. May, I know everyone was really excited when Cloud9 entered into the collegiate space. Will you tell us a little bit more about your goals and direction?
Yeah, I think for us, C9U is really a way for us to connect with our fans and people that are passionate about esports in a lot of ways. And then also take a lot of what we do at Cloud9, which is our professional development attitude and our focus on champion mentality and excellence, and showcase that with the greater gaming community and really give people a taste of what we believe in and what we care about. The 2020 was obviously a really difficult year for everybody, and with everything going digital, it was kind of a really unique and wonderful opportunity for us to be able to connect with everybody in a way that maybe was deprioritized before, with no longer having those big events and those times that we all get together. It made us think sort of, how do we go back to the old way of doing things? It almost felt we have a lot of people at Cloud9 that came from grassroots tournament organizing or other grassroots communities. And so we really leaned on them to go back into that connecting everybody that loves gaming together. And I think that's a big part of what C9U is for us.
Awesome. Ben, you said earlier that you were in your 4th year. That must have a large effect on your thought process, direction, and goals as well, in regards to Collegiate Carball. Can you tell us a little bit more
about goals?
Yeah, for your program.
Yeah. So I guess kind of the biggest thing that's been on my mind in the past few months is being a fourth year, how does this stay student focused once I am no longer a student? And like how can we keep students being to be able to have these opportunities that I've experienced through college carball, but there's also a balance there that kind of there's a certain quality, I guess, you kind of expect from college carball. So it's not as simple as me handing over the keys to someone else. I guess I'd like to be able to get students involved while maintaining our high standards for production and events, I guess.
Yeah, I know a lot of us, especially if you're from the collegiate, with the collegiate background, a lot of us stay involved for way longer than maybe is necessary with our alma mater. It's your baby, right? Like something that you really care about. I'd like to ask you all at this time, what are some of the biggest difficulties and hurdles that you've had to deal with, especially during COVID, or just for the program or personally? Carolyn, would you go first?
I guess so. Difficulties in my position now, or difficulties in the college scene.
Either or. Yeah.
Okay. I think when I was working through the pandemic in terms of the university scene, like college scene, we were trying to figure out how to transition. Transitioning was hard. Moving online, we had usually in-person meetings every week, and so we had to figure out how to do those online. And we usually had dinner and stuff. So we kind of did something interesting. We just played games online, and we would have movie party, like watch parties and stuff like that. But we were trying to just figure out how to best make it engaging and still fun for people, even when it was online. And that's kind of the same issue we're running into in my job now as well. We're trying to figure out how to make things interesting and not repetitive, since everyone is doing the same things online right now. We're trying to make sure that our events are really pertinent to the students that we're trying to advertise to, and that they're actually helpful and constructive for our students. And so that is one of the hurdles we're figuring out right now. But I think we're getting there. I think we're finding events that people really enjoy. I think these panel series are one of those. I think Collegiate Rising is doing a really great job of educating people, and I'm very excited that I can participate in things like these to help people out.
Yeah, I'm really glad that everyone in chat has come out to watch these panels. It is extremely difficult to get students to, come out to care for, when everyone else is caring about their education and their time over here. Kat, I know we always talk about how your program is brand new. Maybe you can talk about a difficulty or hurdle that you had to deal with personally during this transition.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is trying to figure out what works within the pandemic. So, prior to the pandemic, me and, Uconnect had really big ideas on, event campaigns to do and how to provide to the masses, like, our product and stuff. But, we've had to come up with different ideas, obviously. And the other thing, too, was definitely with regards to our student initiatives. We want to make sure that it's something that our company aligns with as well, like in terms of our vision and what we see for, the next 5 years in the education space. One thing that I think has been an awesome challenge is, stepping back into the education and esports scene and seeing how it's grown from like almost 5 years ago. I think the biggest thing was just making sure that I did my research these past 3 months and making sure that I'm providing the right resources and groundwork for our student program.
Awesome. May, Cloud9 again entered into the space right after, or during the pandemic rather. I'm sure you guys had a bunch of difficulties and hurdles that you guys had to deal with.
Yeah, we definitely did. I think, like Carolyn mentioned, is that there's a lot of people doing things online right now. So you have to keep mixing it up so that it feels like a new experience. People are getting different perspectives. So they still find value in attending events. I think especially for esports orgs too, it's a little bit of an unknown to operate in the collegiate space. It's not necessarily like a facet that they've looked into before. And when it comes to doing things that you haven't done before, there's this unknown of what are the benchmarks that we're setting, what are the KPIs, what's the ROI on this. So it's been a little bit of a test the water situation for us as we figure out what best we can give to the space actually, whether it's our expertise in professional development for people, everybody that's participating in the collegiate esports and gaming space, or if maybe it's more development towards the collegiate competitive programs. And so I think that really testing out those waters is maybe like challenging isn't the right word, but it's a really fun opportunity for us, and is something that we'll continue to do in the following years.
Good. I'm glad you guys are having fun as you guys figure out, the collegiate space for a professional team. Ben, again, you've always talked about the big difficulties that you've had with your program. Will you continue to tell us about either your program or for you personally?
Yeah, so I guess we kind of had a different perspective of CCA has been an online community for as long as it's been around. We've just been an online community running out of our Discord. And with that, my excellent team around me is from all around the country, in Canada. I think switching to kind of remote and knowing that everything was going to be online wasn't as much of a struggle, as much as there, of course, from a lot of people, there's disappointment that there's no live events, but we understand. I think the challenge for us then became, can we build our events so that a lot of teams can play in it, and can we stream often so that we're creating entertainment? I think I saw that as kind of our best thing to do, basically provide opportunities for these kids that were sitting inside with nothing else to do, and provide these streams as entertainment and content for it.
Yeah. I'm glad that, again, there are programs out there that people can join, no matter what game that you are a part of, and that you have a place that you feel like is home and you can continue to do something with. And so, I think it really builds a sense of community, especially during this pandemic, that you can hop online, know that there's going to be someone there, a program there that exists for you to be a part of. So as we talk about these programs and as they exist, where do you guys see your individual programs going? And what are some directions that you guys want to take the program that uniquely benefit the collegiate esports community? Carolyn?
So right now, we actually are working on a lot of professional development opportunities. One of them being Corsair Day, which is going to be next week, which is a day of panels from our company staff talking about what they do in their jobs, how they got there, things like that. C9U actually just ran a similar event probably like a month or two ago now. Their panels, I think, were really informative to students, and students seem to have a really positive feedback towards that kinds of content. So we are trying to put on a day like that as well, so that students can learn what actually happens in a corporate company, what happens on a day-to-day basis, and how can they get involved in it. And so I think I'll be working on more professional development, things like that, and also some basics that clubs don't know. Like a lot of kids I've heard don't know how to make sponsorship decks. So I really want to help people and fill that gap in the esports collegiate industry.
Awesome. Yeah. Sponsorship decks are super important. So I'm glad that that's something that you're taking on. Kat, will you tell us something that you're taking your program into that's uniquely benefiting the collegiate esports community?
Yeah, so I can't really talk about it too much, but tomorrow if you stop by MSI Career Day, myself along with two lovely people from Space Productions will be talking about something that actually just went live on Hitmarker today. So, just dropping hints. Official announcement will be on Monday, but it'll directly target something that I think has been very underserved with regards to careers. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the semester and where this program is going to take off.
Awesome. I mean, I hope everyone will keep a lookout for that. That's an amazing opportunity, or it sounds like it is. May, again, for Cloud9, you guys have a very unique take on the collegiate esports community. How do you guys plan on uniquely benefiting everyone here?
Yeah, so I think that just using C9U to share our expertise and our excellence mentality is something that we want to continue to do. Everyone who's involved in C9U is really passionate about it, and it's like a personal passion for them, and that just means that the effort and the care that goes into it is really important. I think also as we sort of like expand everything that we do for Cloud9, there's so many job openings. Like we're for the training grounds program, for example, and our youth initiatives, our biggest sort of like hiring sector is college students, to be honest. So these are like coaches that we're bringing on training under the sort of the Cloud9 tutelage and our methodology of excellence, and then turning around and hosting these camps for kids that are 13 to 18 and still in high school to participate and learn all these skills as well. And so we, are hiring like hundreds of coaches this year. We have to hire 600 coaches across League of Legends and Valorant and Fortnite, different games, to be both counselors, team coaches, and specialty coaches for all of these high school students. So building a program that I think, in very adjacently does help out a lot of, college students with really direct impact ways to get involved into the esports space.
Awesome. That sounds like a ginormous undertaking. Good luck with that, and I hope a lot of people start participating. Ben, again, you mentioned, you have it's not as easy as handing off the keys. What directions do you guys have in terms of your program?
Yeah, so I guess on not specifically benefiting the collegiate community, we've begun to kind of take on more production stuff. But kind of as I mentioned before, not as simple as handing over the keys. I guess I still really need to flesh out the details of what does this look like, but I do know that my goal is to be able to give the opportunities that I've had to students and create more opportunities than we have already. I think moving forward, I think that's kind of what I want my legacy with CCA to be.
Awesome. I'm glad you have a plan. We've talked a lot about your journey as student leaders. During your time there, I'm sure you've noticed gaps in support, or you've had frustrations in this industry. You guys are now uniquely positioned to be able to either fill those gaps, help those out in a certain way, or if you're not able to do that, what are some things that students can step up to the plate for and try to fill in for? What have you guys noticed? Carolyn?
I think, like I said before, like one of the gaps that I noticed is the sponsorship decks, knowing how to do that and talk to companies, write emails, even just professional, like speaking or like typing in emails, I guess, is kind of a skill that some people lack that I've noticed. And also, I think transitions are a really rough spot for collegiate esports orgs. Like they don't know how to record what they do and teach it to the next generation of people who are going to be leading that organization. So I think those are some pain points that we might want to try and address, especially with TESPA being gone now. I know that they tried to tackle it as well. So I think that'll be one of the things that we really try to focus on. And those kinds of gaps, we'll try to fill those and really help people create the better infrastructure and foundations for their organizations.
Awesome. Yeah, you're already working on filling the gaps. That's really good news. Kat, will you tell us a little bit about your frustrations or any gaps that you're helping fill?
I think I mentioned this earlier, but I think the biggest one is just really trying to connect the tech industry with students in terms of careers, especially right now during the pandemic, and along with mentorship as well. So yeah, that, and making sure as well that especially with these esports programs, and especially on the collegiate side, we'd love to explore more opportunities to partner with them academically and see how we can help there. So that's another one as well.
Cool. I think everyone will be looking forward to hearing more from your program. May, please tell us about, and I'm sure with your unique perspective, you've noticed a ton of gaps that you're helping fill. You tell us a bit more about your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I think that sort of like laddering on from what Carolyn and Kat have both said, that like jobs and professional development is really important for people transitioning into this space at post-collegiate. Whether it's just the availability of jobs for these like entry-level positions that are at companies where you'll be mentored and won't just get thrown into the sort of like the throw of things, and actually you'll get value and level up your own personal skills. Things like decks and presentations and emails and how to schedule a Google invite and how to make sure that your Google Calendar is up to date, or and all these like how to talk in Slack or a Messenger, right, are all things that like you can come into a company and sort of not have this specific etiquette and get really judged on. So I think that all those things that Carolyn is saying is all really important. And people, if she's teaching that, you should all listen, because it's really, really important. And just more opportunities is really important, and carving out this space and building it as it's so foundational right now, and it's so pliable, building it what we need to be to connect those two spaces, from young people that want to get into the space and to professionals in this space.
Awesome. Ben, I know your journey is extremely unique since, again, you're still in college and going through the process. You still have the chance to fill in these gaps as you're still there, working on your program. But even so, can you tell us a little bit about the frustrations that you've had with your program?
Yeah, so I guess from a CCA perspective, I think honestly, I've been very impressed with how that's all gone. I guess I think more so the frustrations that I see in collegiate esports. I guess something that is more at home with me. I see my college has varsity esports program. They also have a club, and many of the people that were active in the club jumped to varsity when that came around. And so how do I guess kind of something I'd like to see solved, whether I'm the person to do that, I guess, is how do we keep the clubs engaged at maybe it's a smaller school issue for me, but how do we keep the clubs engaged? And I think a big part of that is social media. Like our esports club kind of shut down their social media, and that's really important in this day and age.
Yeah, definitely. I think, having, especially during COVID, having a presence online, making sure that you're being consistent and growing it is definitely a challenge, and something that I think everyone should be working on. I hope everyone here that's watching was able to take a little bit from all of these amazing speakers. Right now, I'm going to go check the questions that you guys have been asking in chat. There are a ton of them. I'm going to just pick one that I feel like either everyone's dealt with or knows someone has dealt with, and that is imposter syndrome. Have any of you guys ever dealt with imposter syndrome? And if so, I want you guys to know that you guys are all amazing in your own right, and you guys definitely deserve to be here. Thank you for giving your time to this panel. And then if you've dealt with imposter syndrome, what tools in education has helped you overcome that roadblock? And it's okay if you guys haven't dealt with imposter syndrome. Some people are just super confident, kick ass. That's amazing. But if you have, please speak up. We'll start with Carolyn.
I don't think I've fully dealt with imposter syndrome before, like a full-on case of it. I have felt like inklings here and there of like, wait, am I really qualified to do this? Am I just faking my way until I make it, But I think just being confident in your abilities and realizing that you have a unique set of skills that you got hired for. Like, they hired you for a reason. You're there for a reason. They saw something in you that let them know that you could do the job. So you just have to realize that you are there and you have a purpose there. and you'll be fine. So I think that's just kind of the message that I try to repeat to myself if I'm ever doubting my skills or like abilities in the space. So not too much experience there, but positive mindset helps.
I'm glad you've had a positive mindset and that you haven't felt it too much. That's good. Kat?
Yeah, I think this actually happened very recently, and I think it's because I was in an environment where I was being told that I wasn't doing my best, and I think that's where it came from. And unfortunately, I like to tell people that I took like a nice little summer vacation last year. I took a nice break to myself and tried to figure out what I wanted to do next. I told myself it's okay to take a break and see where I want to go next and see what the future lies ahead. But I think that's something that I still struggle with, even coming back into the education space too. It's trying to, see, it's definitely been a struggle. And I think what's definitely helped is having support systems. So like, family and loved ones being around, especially during this time of the pandemic, but also, doing things that help you feel accomplished. So it's like I went back to get my MBA. Just finished my first semester and got a 4.0. And I think that it was something like that made me like progress. I think is a big thing that helps me overcome the recent imposter syndrome. And I hope to continue doing that progress, but not for myself, but for others as well.
Awesome. I'm glad you're doing your most just for yourself and for others as well. May, have you ever dealt with imposter syndrome?
Not specifically imposter syndrome, but I think that one of the ways that I keep myself out of that thought process is I really try and treat everything as an opportunity for growth. I'm okay with failure. I'm okay with losing. I'm okay with not having something right away, because if I have that opportunity to see that I'm lacking in an area, then I can fix it. I get frustrated not knowing something, I think is the best way to say it. I hate saying the wrong thing or saying something that's incorrect. So it's an opportunity for me to learn something. If I don't know how to do it and I think that I should, I'm going to learn how to do it. And so having that sort of attitude, I think, really helps me stay positive.
Awesome. Ben, have you ever dealt with imposter syndrome?
Yeah, I think in a way I have. I think the tougher part for me is getting my start kind of within the Rocket League community and coming up in these small community orgs, and then jumping over to collegiate. Like I feel we're putting on our best effort, but it often isn't really cared about because it's collegiate. I think that was something that I've kind of seen, and I get there's a gap in gameplay, but that kind of leads to questioning, is collegiate not good enough because I'm not good enough at making this? And I guess the one thing I kind of tell myself with that is, where's this going to be in maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Because I think there's really a lot of potential for collegiate esports and the presentation of it.
Okay, awesome. We actually have another question here. I don't know. Personally, I find these questions super difficult to answer because they're so far in the future. But we'll ask them anyways. How do you guys see esports growing in the next 5 years? For me, it's super difficult to see ahead, right? Like oftentimes, if you look backwards, some people would have never ever predicted how big Fortnite grew, or when League of Legends was starting out, how big of a phenomenon that game would be. What are your guys' thoughts on esports growing in the next 5 years? Carolyn?
Honestly, that's like you said, it's a really, really hard question to answer because with how fast esports is changing right now and how much it's grown in the past couple of years, honestly, it could go anywhere. So I actually don't have a whole lot of idea on how to answer that question. I will just go as it comes.
Okay, awesome. Perhaps, maybe it's not where you guys see esports growing in the next 5 years, but maybe something that you want to see happen in esports in the next 5 years? We can go up to Kat next.
Yeah, so I think one thing that I've been noticing is that, at this point, there's a lot of esports programs in the country, a lot of collegiate esports programs, and I think what a lot of them are looking for right now is more academic and curriculum growth. And I think that that's something that we'll be seeing in the next few years. Like, it starts off with esports management courses, but you have something like University of New Haven where they're working on a full-on MBA program for esports and management and marketing, etc. Like, it's just I have a feeling that we might start seeing those the more that these administrators as well as directors and coaches want to provide more for their students. So yeah, and that's something that I'd like to see too, just to open up that opportunity to everyone and get and mainstream the esports ecosystem even more so.
Nice.
Yeah.
May, with all of your experience, where do you see esports growing in the next 5 years, or what's something that you want to see in esports in the next 5 years?
Yeah, I think a lot of what Kat said was right, is especially in regards to the different academic things that are going to be changing. If somebody was like, if I want to be in esports, what degree should I get? I would say get a business degree. More and more, you're going to see where esports is growing out of the startup space. That idea of people that are able to come on and have lots of different jobs is not going to be the case anymore. You're going to be hired to do one specific job, and that's the job that you're going to do, especially 5 years from now. We're still in that startup, and there's always going to be a little bit of that. But as more and more orgs get acquired by T1 sports teams and other big, blue chips and all the things get more integrated in esports, that corporatization is going to happen. So business degrees are really important. Marketing degrees are really important. There's a whole subset of it. And, but that definitely is what it's going to be in the future. And then the other thing I think with gaming and esports that is probably something that people don't want to hear, especially in this space, is that mobile gaming is just going to be what it is. Mobile gaming is going to take off. It's going to have a substantial shift in how we view esports, where the discretionary spending and the money is flowing in esports, just because the market is so big. So really being willing to adjust with that and say yes, I'm in esports and gaming, and where that goes is important.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone has a cell phone, as we've learned. So that's good. I'm glad that you've provided that perspective. I think that, yes, business degrees are super broad, very useful. I myself have one, so you're putting it to good use. Ben, where do you see esports growing, or what would you like to see in esports in the next 5 years?
Well, I think I really want to see the collegiate scene grow exponentially, and I think we've really seen that. I believe I saw a tweet the other day of, in 2019, Michigan had 5 colleges with varsity esports programs, and now that number's in the 20s. And I really am hoping in the next 5 years that we see almost every school pick up these programs, and school administrations start to see the value that esports can bring, both as the sports entertainment side, as well as bringing in incoming or prospective students. And then hopefully, with that, the level of competition increases, and so that we can see collegiate esports maybe in 5 years kind of touching other places that esports has touched, with major tournaments being on TV every once in a while on major channels. I guess that's kind of my hope.
Oh, good.
To see collegiate move that way.
Awesome. We have a couple more specific questions and a couple more minutes here, so I'd like to ask very specific questions that people have asked for some of our panelists. We'll start off with May. There are a lot of coaches in C9 for high school, which is an amazing feat. But is there a roadmap for demonstrating the skill level and development of these coaches?
Yeah, so we definitely have developed our own Cloud9 coach certification system, one that is in the development of these coaches, the workshops that they're doing, the orientation, the different training that they go through, and then it's all distilled off of what we believe and instill onto our professional teams and with our players and our coaches. So training these players that we identify, and the really great thing about esports and gaming is that like so many people are esports and gamers, right? You see so many professional gamers that were, athletes in their high school or even early college days and switched to esports because they have that competitive mindset. And as we're recruiting these coaches for these camps, it's really obvious that there's a lot of people that in your past, and I think a lot of people probably in this panel were probably either peer mediators in their past or camp counselors, whether it was sports or music or just, like church camp or any of those camps, that they showed leadership quality and they, have worked with kids before and they are, diamond level gamers. And those are the people that we want to take and train and professionally develop them if they have an education mindset or if they just love esports and they want to get involved in esports and learn more about esports and be involved with a company like Cloud9 and this developmental program. But yeah, there's actually so many people that we found out there that are amazing gamers and have a passion for education or for being positive mentors in, young gamers' lives.
That's awesome. I hope that becomes like the gold standard that people can see, these people are proven. These guys are, approved by Cloud9 to be who they are, who they say they are, and that they can be trustworthy. That's amazing work.
Yeah, and it's not just in-game skill too with training grounds. It's like life skills, right? Like teamwork, communication, critical thinking, like having a champion mindset, like whether you're a champion in game or you're a champion out of game professionally, as, the best marketer on your team or this person who can develop products at, whether you're like Elon Musk, right? Like he's a champion and what does that mentality take per se? And distill and using games as this vehicle and this thing that we all love and this passion that we share to teach those life lessons to kids.
Yeah, definitely. I think, being able to wear multiple hats and wear them well is an extremely difficult thing to do. I always talk about how, especially in this industry, it's one thing to be good at your job, and it's another thing to love gaming. And usually people who are good at their job go on to do amazing work somewhere else in the field, of the world, doctors, lawyers, et cetera, and then gamers are gamers, and being able to mesh the two, being able to have both is an extremely difficult thing to find in someone. So I'm glad that's something that you guys are endeavoring to do. Ben, I have a question here for you. I don't know if this is easy or difficult, but one of the questions is, how did CCA manage to stay so focused on one title / games? I believe that's Rocket League.
Yeah. So I think I did see that question. I was thinking about it a little bit. I think passion is the first thing. I think all the people working with and on CCA are very passionate about Rocket League and love the game, love being involved in this kind of thing. I myself have in the past 6 months done a little Valorant adminning, and I enjoy Valorant. It's just not quite the same when you kind of fall in love with a game and just the fun that we're all able to have doing it.
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone here is super passionate about their respective game. I know people put in, 40 plus hours every week, so much to the chagrin of some of our bosses. But that's the reason why we're all here. We're really passionate. We all really care about collegiate esports. We all care about our respective game. And I'd actually like to wrap up this panel. Thank you guys for coming. We super appreciate everyone who's dropped a question, tuned in, given their advice. Putting panels together like this is a big endeavor. So I would also want to shout out UConnect Esports for being able to have everyone here. And actually, in about 3 minutes, we are going to have the Collegiate Organizations 101 panel moderated by Dragon Ding. And there's a bunch of people there that I've seen in the industry that I highly respect. You guys should definitely come check that out. Is there anything that you guys want to say? Any last minute things that you guys want to shout out? We'll start off with Carolyn.
Don't forget the Coursera roundtables are tonight, the Mentor roundtable. So if your questions didn't get answered, you can get them answered there.
Awesome. Kat, any last shout outs?
Yeah. I'll also be at the roundtables tonight in case there's any other questions, as well as the MSI Career Fair tomorrow. So feel free to stop by. I'll post the link again in the Twitch chat.
Cool. May, shout outs?
Yeah, just thanks for everyone here, and super excited to be a part of this and be a part of the mentor roundtables tonight. And yeah, that's it.
Excellent. Ben?
Yeah, I guess I'll just wrap up by saying thanks for having me. Really appreciate everyone here and UConnect as well for hosting this. It was a great opportunity. So thank you.
Awesome. And then again, my name is Dom Nguyen. I'm over at the GeForce Student program at NVIDIA. You guys can check out GeForce Student at discord.gg/GeForce Student. And yeah, thank you, Collegiate Rising. We'll see you guys next time.